Before I introduce our object lesson speaker, I'm going to kick us off with a First Friday cocktail that was actually inspired by Sam Davis and his the object he selected to speak with us about tonight. And so I'm just going to take you through it. It's a pretty basic, simple cocktail process and recipe, and it's actually one of my favorites from old-time cocktail pre-Prohibition times. So this cocktail I'm calling the Clover Club with Extra Jawn, and that's Jawn, J-A-W-N. My accent is probably way off. But the reason I decided to visit the Clover Club cocktail tonight is because this week I've been thinking extra sentimentally about Philadelphia and how great the city is, and also in line with Sam's talk, he's going to focus on some ecology and ecological analyzing of artworks, and so I decided to go not only local with the Clover Club, but also vegan. So I actually didn't know that the Clover Club cocktail originated in Philadelphia until really, really recently. And it's actually dated around 1896, 1800. There were a group of journalists who formed a men's club, and these gentlemen would gather at the Bellevue Stratford Hotel, which I believe is now a Hyatt on Broad Street. They would gather to drink and trade stories and talk about the trade gossip nightly, and they had a motto: who enters here leaves care behind, leaves sorrow behind, leaves petty envies and jealousies behind. While we live in Clover, we live in Clover. When we die all over. So with that, I thought we might celebrate this city tonight on October's First Friday with this twist on the signature drink of the city. This twist is going to offer a little bit of a different variation. First of all, it's vegan, as I mentioned, so that raw egg is going to be switched out with something non-dairy. And then secondarily, I mentioned it has extra Jawn. And like the word says, your Jawn is your Jawn, so whatever your Jawn might be, put it in there. I went for sage because my plant is doing really well after this summer, and some peri-peri bitters, because a little kick is my Jawn. So I'm going to take you through it now. Get ready. First, you're going to get your mixing cup, and you're going to drop in a couple of sage leaves. So we'll just get a really nice light fragrance of sage throughout the drink. And if you were here some point in the summer, I talked about cocktail muddlers and their tradition as material objects in bar culture and the material of wood. So revisit that for some good techniques with the muddling stick. So we're just gonna, I have my sage in here, and I'm just gonna give it a couple of spins with the muddling stick. Just a little bit, not overdoing it because we don't want it to be too bitter. Okay, now I'm gonna put in my ingredients. I'm gonna start with a local gin. I've made a recommendation of the Liberty gin, which is produced locally by the Palmer's Distillery, or Bluecoat, which is not really a London dry gin, it's an American dry gin, but it should be okay if that's how you like it, because this is your Jawn, right? So I'm gonna put 1.5 ounces of gin. And then I'm gonna switch my my shot over, and I'm gonna put about an ounce of Chambord, which is a raspberry liqueur, in my glass. You can also use grenadine, which is a non-alcoholic cherry flavored syrup. I'm gonna toss in another 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. And I decided to go with coconut milk because it emulsifies really well with the rest of the drink. Sometimes your non-dairy drinks don't do that well with acids like lemon juice, but it all tastes good, so it's whatever your Jawn. So I'm going to put another, just a ½ ounce to give it some creaminess. Toss that in. Also, what I noticed with coconut milk is that it foams up really well. And that's what we're really going for, is some kind of recreation of the phenomena of adding a raw egg to the drink. So now that we have all of our ingredients in the cup, I'm going to add my ice. I never do ice before adding the ingredients because I don't like diluted drinks. So this way the ice goes in really, really fresh, not diluted. And I'm going to give it a few shakes. So it gets nice. The sage gets all mixed in here and it gets all chilled. Just get a couple more for good luck. Open that up, strain it into a glass. I usually, when I'm doing this kind of drink, I usually put it in my coupe glasses. And what you'll get is a really, really beautiful rose color. And then I garnish it with a fresh sage leaf. And here you go. So that's the Clover Club Vegan Style Extra Jawn. Drink up.